episode of the Natural Animal Podcast, I'm joined by someone whose heart and dedication are making a real difference for kittens and cats in need. My guest is Bethany Swiggs, the founder of Big Dollan's Fur Rescue, a not-for-profit organisation in Victoria that is dedicated to rescuing, rehabilitating and rehoming cats. Bethany's work is rooted in compassion and respect for these beautiful felines, and she is committed to giving each cat a second, third, fourth or fifth chance at the life they deserve. In our conversation, Bethany shares the story of how she found her way into cat rescue, into developing her own rescue organisation that aligns with her values and what she believes cats need and benefit from in this time of their life, why she continues to devote herself to this work, the challenges that she sees in the rescue space, from how rescue is managed to the negative attitudes that some people hold against cats. We talk about what she's doing to bring about change. You will see how she leads by example in the work that she does. And she also offers in this show, in this episode, her wisdom on rescuing, on cat and kitten care, tips if you've been thinking about fostering or adopting and how to get involved and learn more. And there's also reflection there on the deeper lessons cats can teach us about resilience, healing, and connection. And we also dispel some myths about cats. I think you will find this conversation both eye-opening and heartwarming. Whether you are interested in rescue or not, whether you are a cat lover or not, there is something in this show for everyone. There is something in this show for you if you love and adore animals as much as Bethany and I do. Enjoy. Hello and welcome to the Natural Animal Podcast. I'm your host, Ruth Hatton. I'm an animal naturopath and big animal lover. Here on the show, we share thoughts and ideas about the nature of animals, their preferences, their behaviours, their ways of being, to engender a greater understanding, respect, compassion and love for all animals, companion, farm and wild. I hope you enjoy this week's episode. Hi, Bethany. Welcome to the Natural Animal Podcast. It is amazing to have you finally on the show.
Thank you, Ruth. I'm so happy to be here.
It's so exciting. I'm surprised we haven't spent hours catching up because we're known to have long conversations in the past. And like me, you are so super passionate about animals and their well-being. And a lot of what we stand for is in, perfect alignment. So of course I had to have you on this show. And I think we're just going to dive right in with my first, opening, my first little prompt for you. If you could share your story of how you found your way into kitten and cat rescue, because it is a beautiful story.
Yeah, it's a long story, but the short version of the long story is back in 2020, the infamous 2020. I had a cat at the time. Her name was 11 and she disappeared. And that was the beginning of the end for me around my awareness and relationships with animals and what I knew they brought into my life. And so the journey started with her disappearing, and for 3 months, 111 days, I looked for her every night, try and find her, because she was such an integral and important part of my life that brought me so much comfort, safety, love, compassion. And I kind of had a bit of a benchmark that if she never came home, that I would maybe consider opening my heart to some potential other fur babies. And that day arrived on the 18th of February 2021, and I was encouraged to foster, kind of ease my way back into being around animals through the grief that I was going through at that point in time.
Yeah.
And so we will have some fur babies probably showing up. There's one circling around that probably wants to get up. And so I started fostering, and the intention was to foster and failing to keep all those cats. And within about a week, I felt this new lease to life around supporting communities around rescuing, rehabilitating, and rehoming cats and kittens, as
Mm,
well as having purpose again to contribute back to the community and towards animals that are neglected, abused, and abandoned. And that was the beginning of the end. So I was fostering and having huge success, and it was super fulfilling. And within about 3 months, I decided to go off and do my own thing because I work in a really particular way with animals. And
mm,
I wanted to create a more holistic approach to this world that we are in with animals. And on July 1, 2021, I opened up my own charity, BD for Rescue.
yeah.
And it has been a roller coaster of a journey in so many beautiful ways ever since then.
Yeah, it's such a beautiful, like I remember when we first, or one of the many times that we've connected, whether over email or phone or what have you, it's like, I would love to foster, but I would end up keeping them all.
Yeah. Yeah. It's a common thing that a lot of people say because they love animals so much.
Yeah.
And I think that was, I had addressed that like at the first point of my fostering journey with my first 4 kittens, because what ended up helping me, and this is what I say to people, is that when you are interacting with incredible forever homes that that want to support your cause and
Mm.
adopt, not shop, and you see the beautiful connections that happen in meet and greets, you can't deny that relationship because of your own crap and projection, because you feel insecure or you have abandonment and attachment issues, and
Yeah.
you're denying that family and that fur baby this incredible connection and long-term relationship. And I speak to, still to this day, 80 to 90% of my forever homes and how much their fur babies have changed their life. So
Mm.
I don't want to interfere with that,
Yeah.
right? And they know if they're meant to stay.
Yeah, exactly.
And when you meet so many beautiful families that are coming, you don't want to not be able to facilitate this incredible long-term connection and relationship with them, and also the fosters, that because you just want the best for them,
Mm.
want the best for everybody. So for me, it's just I can cut it really quickly.
Yeah.
It's
And I
not it's not
think,
a conversation I have with myself anymore.
yeah, yeah, it was just, yeah, this is just the process now.
Yeah.
This is just the way it is. But it's like, I think it would also give you that faith in human nature
Mm.
that you wouldn't have if you kept them all to yourself. Because you can see the beautiful homes and the beautiful love and the beautiful connection that all of these people have given to all of the babies that you've
Absolutely.
helped raise and hand over. And that would just make your heart bloom, I'm sure, because it's like, oh, there's so many people out there who adore these beautiful felines.
Yeah, this is the whole point,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
And the other thing is I can't keep them all, because if I keep them
No.
all, I don't have the capacity to foster and do this work. There's only so many fur babies you can have in your world before you got to tap out a little bit, right? And draw the
Yeah.
line. So they're the two main reasons why I really don't struggle with letting them go. And I really invite people that are considering fostering or have really strong connections with animals to really kind of check in and have that conversation with themselves around my insecurities, is my trauma maybe being
Yeah.
triggered here,
Yeah.
and to take responsibility to look at that, because that's your stuff, not the animal stuff, right?
Yeah.
And they know what's going on. So
Mm.
they're my two reasons that make this work easy for me to a
Yeah.
certain.
Yeah. To a certain level. But
Mm,
every now and again, isn't there one or two that you do
always,
say, oh, you're staying?
always, always. It hasn't happened for a while.
Hmm.
And I think that the best thing that I have to kind of navigate that are my own current cats,
Yes.
because we're a family unit.
Yeah.
Everyone knows, like everyone has their own energy, right? Their own vortex, their own quantum field. And we're all working together to continue to make our place, our home harmonious.
Mm.
So if my cats are not happy with the current fosters, or there's no longevity in the relationship, it's not open for discussion.
Yeah.
They decide if fosters are staying long term.
Yes.
Not me,
Yeah.
because I want everyone to be happy and comfortable here.
Yeah. It's so important to have that group harmony, but it's not always possible.
Mm,
Like I've worked with a number of clients. I've got one at the moment actually where
mm,
there is a cat and a dog. And ever since the dog came along, I said,
mm,
no, there's actually a cat and two dogs. And she's
mm,
fine with the older dog who's been around for like 9 years.
mm.
But since the new one has come along, the cat is just like, whoa, I don't want a bar
Yeah,
of her. She's a puppy. And this cat's like 16.
yeah,
And so that energy is just like, whoa, mate, just you're
yeah,
too much. And I had that with mine. And so that's a situation where, they have the choice of they could surrender the puppy to another home. But then there's that aspect of, well, she is a baby.
mm,
And so there's some strategies that we can utilize to create harmony in the home. And it was
yeah,
the same when I brought little Matilda into our lives, which was not expected. And I was like, I don't know if it's going to work. I think she's going to have to live in the bathroom for 6 months because Elvie is such a cranky bum and doesn't like anyone. But Elvie and Matilda have established this beautiful bond. Like I had a friend pop by yesterday and she's like, you can really see their deep connection. I'm like, yeah, you can. Like they wrestle together,
yeah,
they groom, they snuggle together. And I said to Elva the other day, yesterday, I was like, you got a friend. You've never had this before in a feline form. The
yeah,
last feline matriarch in the house was Lily, and they hated each other. So for him to have this, and he's always wanted to play, whereas
mm,
Max has never been like, I don't want to play with you. So
yeah,
he's finally in Matilda, even though she drives him crazy at times because she
yeah,
just sits on his head and then go and jumps at his neck. They do, he keeps her in check and he's
yeah,
teaching her. And I said that when I was first contemplating bringing a little girl into our lives, I was like, how do you feel about a little baby coming in and you can be like her daddy and you can guide her and teach her and show her the ways and you'll be like the big boss and,
yeah,
but you'll love her and she'll love you. What do you think?
yeah.
And that's actually what has evolved. So it's just, yeah, you just never know. And there was a point where I was contemplating, oh my God, am I going to have to rehome her because this is just out of control?
Mm,
But I was like, I can't be that person that creates this trauma for this poor little cat, So I
yeah,
had that kind of, it was such an interesting dynamic that was going on within me at that time.
yeah.
And luckily it's all worked out. But yeah, it doesn't always work out. So I agree with you in terms of, yeah, they're those ones that are going to come into your life that you feel that really deep connection to. But if there's not that harmony within the home, then
You have to have that
they're not the
conversation.
right one. Mm.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Make those decisions which are hard, but you're never going to know until you try.
Exactly. That's the thing. You won't. It's like everything in life. You won't know until you try. You've got to
Right,
give it a try and
right.
have faith and, get support and learn all the tips and tricks and strategies for introduction and maintaining family harmony and
Correct.
all the things, right?
Absolutely.
So when you started, you started working within a more generalized fostering system, and then you created your own
Yeah,
foster,
yeah,
BD for rescue,
yeah.
Big Dollans, which you explain on your website, the
The
significance
whole,
of
yeah,
Big Dollan and everything.
yeah.
But what were those things like, in any industry there's challenges, but for you, what was the main impetus for you to go out on your own and create your own rescue?
Yeah, I mean, that's such a good question, and I don't think there's like a straightforward answer to that question.
Mm.
I just remember at that point in time, you know, people want the people do have the best intentions when it comes to working with animals. Like, this work is not for everybody. It's super triggering. It brings up a lot of stuff. There is this saying, and I couldn't agree with it more, and it is controversial, but it is what it is. It's either going to resonate or it's not. People that get into rescue work want to be rescued. on a very deep
Yeah.
subconscious level.
Yeah.
And what you will see with that is people will come at this, whether or not they're doing their own thing or they're working or volunteering for a big organization, suggesting and working with a mentality and with an emotional state of what they truly believe with themselves,
Mm.
what is right and what is wrong. I don't believe in right and wrong. That's just my perspective. That's my mentality. And so you're battling with people like really strong opinions and thoughts and feelings around what do we do to make this whole process better whilst we're educating the community.
Mm.
And so when I kind of started to notice that, I was like, there's no neutrality, there's no kind of perspective that when we bring ourselves out of the chaos and looking at it from that lens to work towards, our goal or our objectives, right?
Mm.
And I'm a person that works from doing things in balance. Now, being human is very difficult. Living down
Yeah.
on Earth is very difficult. So to have balance, it's hard. It is
Mm.
hard.
It requires constant
Yeah.
checking in and
Checking
changing
in,
and possibly,
reflection,
yeah.
the whole lot. And that is not established. There is nothing in the community of rescue work that really emphasizes this.
Mm.
And for me, it just made things a lot more harder to always remember that why are we doing this work?
Yeah,
It's for
yeah.
the animals.
Yeah, exactly.
It's for the animals. It's not because Joe Blow down the road didn't de-sex their cat and there's
Yeah.
20 kittens that we've now got to deal with. Like, yes, that is the problem of people not being educated, but, people have very strong opinions about the welfare of animals. And
Mm.
fair enough, I get it. But I think when we continue to harp on about trying to change people, trying to change the system, you continue to hit resistance
Yeah,
and
yeah.
you're banging your head up against a brick wall 24/7. So that is not the path of least resistance for me, one bit whatsoever. I like to look at the path of um, least resistance. And so I was like, I've got to go out and do my own thing and widen my network where people do or want to adopt and be curious about this mentality because that is what changed it for me. And I felt that I had a lot of success and more stability, more peace, more balance
Mm.
when I was doing my own thing. And I had an incredible support network around me supporting me with all of this. So
Yeah.
would have to be one of the main things. And
And can I just interject there and say that remember your second part, but maybe
yeah,
write it down if you're like me and you forget at the drop of a hat. But I think having that feeling of that, creating that thing, creating that rescue organization for yourself that holds that energy of peace and calm is
mm,
so beneficial for the animals that you're taking care of because that's the energy that's going to be within
of
their care
course.
system with you, right? They're going to feel that peace, they're going to feel that balance, and that's going to help them to grow up to be balanced
That's
felines.
again like everything is energy, Ruth, right? Like
Exactly.
you want to chuck plasma under the microscope, you're going to see atoms and molecules, right? Like,
Mm.
and animals especially are so embodied in their energy that that's all they exude. Like
Yeah.
we have connections with animals, our domestic animals and non-domestic animals. And people say that they feel so much more connected and at peace and loved and felt and seen
Mm.
with
Yeah.
animals, yet we don't speak the same language. Okay, they don't
Mm.
speak English or our mother tongue, but they speak a language that does resonate, which is, the language of the heart.
Yes.
And that's energy.
Yeah.
So
Exactly.
I really like to kind of encourage people and really, acknowledge people that, can't quite name it or don't have tangibility around, what they're feeling or what they're seeing because you don't need to. Energy's energy.
Mm. Just trust
And
that it's there.
it's always there. It's
Mm.
always there. That's why dogs and cats go up to certain humans and they just know, or why, they withdraw and they retreat because they know.
Energy. Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah.
That innate sense that, without the blocks that us humans have
We're
as our
disconnected from it,
programming
right?
and yeah,
Yeah.
exactly.
And that's what they're here to teach us.
Yeah, and that's one of the beautiful, beautiful things about sharing this planet with animals is that being one of the most important and present teachings that they bring
Yeah.
with energy
Yeah.
and,
Bringing us back to our
and
heart space.
coming back to our heart and living from our heart and showing up from our heart and, you know, being right here, right now.
Mm.
It's another really important lesson that they teach us too. Mm. And so, what so you've got the rescue industry itself.
Yeah.
Oh no, there was a second thing you were going to say.
Yeah, the second thing is that I have always been deeply connected with animals, and I have always kind of had this left kind of feeling or thinking around, what I feel and what I see with animals that's, I can't articulate in the English language. And so when I lost 11 and I went through that grieving process, and then I'm got my own fur babies, and I'm, kind of starting to do the work that I've always dreamt of doing,
Mm,
I started to feel activated in a way that I could feel this new lease to life and this passion being reignited. And I had a lot of clarity and certainty around it. Was just a knowing
yeah,
that this is a stepping stone to continue working in a way that I want to serve humanity and the animal kingdom. And like, let's just say I just saw all the signs
yeah.
and I continued to run with it. And there was nothing that was going to stop me, because this is what I'm born to do, is to work with animals.
Mm,
So I think with this opportunity to, re-educate people or to provide a different lens or perspective to the rescue work, as well as feeling fulfilled internally and within my soul, was just like a really powerful concoction to just go with it.
yeah, yeah,
Start running with what you're feeling.
yeah, yeah. Perfect, perfect. And so obviously you would have seen there were things like, as you've spoken of, there are challenges that you would have experienced within that industry to prompt you to go out on your own.
Mm,
And then there's always also the challenges that exist in society with respect of these opinions and misconceptions
mm,
around the feline, which always just,
mm.
you know,
I know.
it comes
Yeah.
from a place of misunderstanding,
Yeah.
not knowing what the cat is, right?
That's it.
And so,
Yeah.
what would you say within the industry and outside of the industry, in society? And I just want to stop there because your beautiful cat has come past 1,000 times.
This
And
is
we
Whitney.
have to acknowledge
This is Whitney. You say hi,
Winnie.
Whitney.
We have to
She
acknowledge Winnie's
loves to sit on my
hello. I remember Winnie. I've seen, yeah, yeah. She
one of the
loves, if you're
originals.
not watching the video version of this, Winnie is sitting, beautiful Winnie, black on black with white legs, is sitting on Bethany's shoulder. Hey, Winnie.
Yeah, she's a social girl, aren't she? She's
How
one of
old is
the
Winnie
originals.
now?
Yeah, yeah, aren't you, Wit Wit? All right, hop off. Mummy's talking.
How old is she now?
She's 4.
She's still a baby.
Yeah, she still looks like a baby. I know. She is the baby.
It
She's,
feels like she's been around for 10 years. I mean, we
I
haven't even known,
know.
I feel like we've known each other for 10 years. So that's why I think she's been around for 10 years. She's only 4. How's that possible?
Oh, hopefully she's still got a couple decades still left down here, Whitney. Huh?
Yes, 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 yes.
Yeah.
So, thank you, Whitney. So, is it Whitney or Winnie? Whitney.
Whitney.
Whitney,
Whitney.
like Whitney Houston.
Yeah.
But no drugs, no drugs, Whitney.
No, 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 no. She's
Don't
clean.
mess with that stuff, darling. So, yeah, what are some of the biggest challenges that you've seen or faced or been exposed to within the rescue industry, and then also just within society generally when it comes to cats?
Yeah, yeah, good question. So let's start with the actual rescue
Yeah,
industry. And look, first and foremost is funding. Like,
yeah,
people don't, because all of this is volunteer. This is all charity work. We do this work because we love this. And so we still need to be able to feed and provide certain things for our fosters whilst they're in care, as well as the vet work.
mm,
It all costs money. I mean, all charities,
yeah,
charities need money to be able to do their work in the world and create impact. And I also think that if it's not important enough, people don't have this sense of importance to want to contribute to your cause. And I understand that because like if there's no real kind of, I don't know, personal impact on you, like what is the benefit apart from just doing it out of the goodwill of your heart, to contribute $20 or $100 a month to support a charity. I understand that. But I think with more education and also providing, the impact of not desexing and having stray
Mm.
cats in the community and what that causes
Yeah.
will encourage people to maybe support rescues, getting stray cats off the streets,
Yes.
carrying out the vet work so we're not dealing with this never-ending issue of cats breeding 3 times a year.
Yeah.
The statistics at the moment are that one female undesexed cat over the span of 7 years will produce up to 500,000 kittens
Wow.
throughout that
Throw
lifetime.
that in life. That's insane.
500,000. And we
Wow.
don't need more cats or dogs
No,
or
we don't.
domesticated animals born on Earth.
Yeah.
And so for me, it's more important than ever to get our cats vet worked and dogs as well,
Mm.
so that we can put a halt on this
Yeah.
problem that we're consistently dealing with.
And then there is that message there for the pet parent too. Like, I mean, I'm an animal naturopath, so I'm working with people. Most of the time, I'm working with people that are naturally minded.
Yeah,
And, there will be those cases, and I'll be asked that question. What do you think about, I've just got this new cat, this new dog. I don't want to de-sex them. What do you think, Ruth? Da, da, da. And I
mm,
always frame it, I can never make the decision for them, but I always frame it in terms of you've got to look at the pros and cons and you've got to look at your personal situation. If your cat or your dog is allowed to go out and roam, they are going to make babies.
yeah,
And then you've got a responsibility towards that because they go out to make babies. There are all these strays and they don't have a home and they can be abused and they can be, get sick and starve and have that situation happen to them, right? Get
yeah,
injured and not be able to be treated and all that kind of thing. Or, some human comes along and finds the stray cat wandering and traps them and kills them, right?
yeah,
So
yeah,
you've got to weigh up that. Like if you've got a situation, and then it's like timing with, you've got supporting their hormones because desexing too early, which was one of the things that when I adopted Matilda, she was only 10 weeks. She'd already been desexed. She'd already had 2 vaccines and she'd obviously had 2 to 3 doses of flea worming treatment. And I'm like, that is so much for a 10-week-old kitten. Darling, detox. You're coming home with me. We're going to go do a detox, darling, because
yeah,
I don't want that stuff to rear its ugly head down the track because your poor little body, while you're still trying to develop health, is just being bombarded with these toxins, right? But I can see it from the rescue perspective.
yeah,
They don't necessarily, and every rescue group is different. And, I've seen rescue groups, they just hand their animals out to anyone. I see rescue groups that are very, very strict and very stringent and very thorough.
yeah,
When Matilda comes to me, because of who I am and I don't let my cats roam free,
yeah,
if I had, it would have been nice to have that decision for me to make that decision within myself, whether I would de-sex her.
yeah,
I probably still would have because, 2 boy cats, even though they're neutered and they're adults,
yeah,
hormones are hormones.
yeah,
But it was kind of like, they have to look at it from they don't know. They don't necessarily know, is this going to be a cat that's allowed to roam? Is this a cat that's going to go out and go crazy at night and have sex with everybody and create all these babies?
yeah,
And so it is that very much, if I had it my way, I would have waited until she was at least 6 months
yeah,
before desexing her.
yeah,
And she's not even allowed outside on her own now as it is.
yeah,
She's not even 6 months yet.
yeah,
But that decision was taken from me because I adopted her from a rescue system where that wasn't my decision to make because they had their own policies, right? So it can be very challenging, but it's balancing, it's weighing up. We've got to weigh up because, you know, people are coming to me, they're asking that because they're concerned about the long-term health impacts of desexing on the hormones, on the endocrine system, which is completely understandable. But it's like if you can't create an environment where your cat or your dog is not going to be exposed to
Mm.
any other cat or dog that can make babies, if you
Yeah.
can't have 100% assurance around that, then
Yeah.
you've got to desex.
Yeah.
It's
Yeah.
just too risky.
Too risky.
But it's one of those really like, you know, it's such a hot topic.
It's a conundrum.
Yeah,
It's such a conundrum. And yeah, we de-sex because this is why they're ending up in rescues because of undesexed cats.
exactly. Yeah, that's
And
right. Or if they've been, well, yeah, you could say if they've been dumped, but why they dumped because their cat's gone out and had babies and
yeah, yeah,
exactly.
yeah.
And
It's
there's
one of the
just
biggest problems.
that whole like you see it in the, you know, there are even places, communities where you can't live with cats
Mm.
because of this whole thing. Oh, they're going to kill all the wildlife and they're going to, and it's like, please, out of all my cats, the only one who catches birds is Elvie,
Mm.
and only like two a year.
Yeah.
And I discourage it. Like we've had this beautiful visitor the past couple of days. We call him King George. He's a king parrot. And the kids that live next door, they were over at the time, and I'm like, what should we name him? Let's name him. And the girl was like, George. I'm like, oh yes, King George. So
Yeah.
he comes along and he's beautiful. And Matilda's like losing her shit because she just wants to, I want King George. I'm like, no, King George is our friend, and we don't eat our friends.
Yeah.
You know, and it's just she's just like, and she's climbing the door and she's trying to get to him, and I'm like, darling.
Yeah.
But there's whole like, you know, again, that whole they're going to destroy all the wildlife. I mean, frankly, humans do more damage to the wildlife than cats can do.
Yeah.
And again, it comes down to, like you say, education.
Yeah. Yeah.
And don't just, and I know you have a very stringent policy about who you allow your cats to be adopted by. And
Absolutely.
don't just give your cats to anybody,
Yeah.
you
Yeah.
know?
I
So
know.
we're definitely going to speak about all your amazing things that, you know, you do. But sorry, I just had to.
No, I love it. I love it. It's true though. It really comes down to education. That's
Mm,
people are uneducated, especially in cities,
yeah,
because you know, a city life is different to a farm or rural life.
exactly.
And you know, so you're dealing with many things all in
Yeah.
one.
Yeah, totally. So what was that? What was that challenge? What category does that challenge fit into? Desexing
Yeah, you got to de-sex your pets.
or desex?
We don't need any more, you know, and I say this to people that are close to me, like, you know, if they're going to go buy a dog or a cat from a breeder, you know, again, I believe in sovereignty. So at the end of the day, it's their choice.
Yeah, exactly.
Uh,
And have you seen who's up for rescue right now?
right, right.
Mm.
I just say we don't need any more cats or dogs born on Earth. Rabbits, guinea pigs, the whole thing. It's people are, you know, if you really asked, and I could be wrong, but I'm not about a lot of things when it comes to this. You know, and people will have their own opinion about this comment, but you go and ask the breeders, are they really doing it for the well-being and welfare of the animals that they're breeding from, or are they doing it because of money?
Profit, yeah,
Because animals are not a commodity for to make our
exactly.
pockets richer. I don't, that's not
Yeah.
how I
I
thought.
think if they were doing it for the love of animals, they would start a rescue organization.
Yeah,
Because for the love of animals is all those animals out there who don't have a loving home, all
yeah,
those domestic animals that don't have a loving home,
yeah,
or what are yeah, the cats and dogs, right?
yeah,
Because there's just, yeah, no, I agree with you. And I know there are some breeders that follow me and possibly listen to this podcast, and I will support any animal.
yeah,
But it's like, well, maybe check in with yourself around this.
yeah, yeah.
Um,
My question is, do you think the animals, go and ask your cat or your dog, do you think they like being bred until
yeah,
your pockets are satisfied?
mm,
Just go and ask that. Go look at them in their eyes and go, oh, are you all right with this?
yeah,
Use you and, you know, your physical body to make money
yeah, exactly,
and see
exactly.
what comes
Make
up.
these babies that are not going to stay in your life.
Yeah.
Yeah,
You feel when you ask that question to yourself? Do you get angry? Do you feel offended by that comment? Are
yeah.
you um, feeling guilty?
because there's truth in that. And if you dig beneath the surface, you will find the answer. You will
Yeah.
find the truth. You will find the trigger, and then working on that and reframing it, and actually, and then you might decide there's other ways that I can make money while still loving animals
Yeah.
and not
Depending.
putting their bodies through this. There was, I saw on Facebook the other day, I don't know which breed it was. It just came up in my feed, and I'm hardly ever on Facebook, but it just came up there, and they were, oh, I think it was a cat group that I'm a member of. And it was like, it was either a rat, I think it was
Mm,
a Burman girl, and they were trying to find a home for her because she just wasn't dealing well with being a breeding animal.
mm,
And I was like, well, good. I didn't say anything. I didn't comment or anything, but in my mind, I was like, well, that should be applauded
mm,
because they're seeing that this cat does not want to be a breeding machine.
mm.
And so, they were looking for a new, they were putting her into retirement very, very early,
Yeah.
and looking, hopefully finding a home for her where she wouldn't have to be a breeding machine anymore.
Yeah. Yeah.
And it's
Yeah.
like, well, good on you, because that could have been a money-making machine for them.
Yeah, absolutely. And there's no right or wrong answer to that. It's just being
No, it's
brutally honest with yourself. And
yeah,
it's only you. You're the one that's going to put your head down on the pillow at the end of the night, being okay and at peace with every decision that you've made.
yeah,
I'm not here to tell you what to do. I'm not here to make you feel guilty. I'm not here to, you know, it's not about me. It's about you. And people are in denial about that. People
yeah.
don't want to look at that because
Well,
they
it's
just,
hard.
it's too hard. It's too hard. And
Going to
I,
mean a lot of, if they lean towards, oh my gosh, yes, I do feel bad about this, then it means they're going to have to
they have to take
change
responsibility.
their whole life. And change is not easy.
Yeah.
It requires strength and dedication. But then, in that as well, when you look at it from that spiritual perspective, there's lessons in all of this.
Yeah.
These animals chose to be in this, and there's one argument to say that these animals chose to be in this environment, and there will be those soul contracts at play. And what is the human learning from this? What is the animal in question learning from this to help with the evolution of their soul? And so that's why that probably feeds into why you say, there's no right or wrong, because there isn't,
Mm-mm.
because everything that is happening is unfolding the way that it's supposed to.
Mm.
And let's see if this is the life that you're going to get that lesson that beautiful animal is helping you to learn.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What about other challenges that you've seen within the rescue industry? You've spoken about a couple already in terms of that rescue mindset,
Yeah.
that the funding. That's how we got onto
Yeah.
desexing,
Yeah.
funding.
Funding.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's an industry that has no money,
Yeah.
wanting to do incredible things and create great impact with no money, which is a very hard thing to do, right?
Mm.
So I think, people need to get creative with bringing in funds to support their cause.
Yeah.
But the funding is the biggest. It's why rescues go under, is because
Yeah.
they don't have, they end up funding the charity themselves with their own wage,
Yes.
which
Yeah.
is, that's just completely unsustainable, right?
Yeah.
So, and people don't have boundaries. That's another thing. People don't have boundaries and where to call it. Like, I'm pretty strict on, like, when I'm, redlining it a bit, it's just an absolute, everything comes to a halt and that's it. No questions asked. And yeah, just the mentality, this really weird victim tyrant kind of rescuer consciousness that a lot of rescue. I mean, I haven't met, or worked or collaborated with another rescue that has had a similar mentality or approach to working with animals to date in Australia. I have overseas, but
Yeah.
there's obviously this underlining kind of unprocessed emotional trauma or
Yeah.
stuff that's going on that people are unaware of, that are hindering them from really showing up in the best version that they have the capacity to do this work. And that's
Mhm.
okay. It's just going to take some time.
Yeah.
And in regards to the public around the misconceptions of cats, well, I mean, it's pretty simple. Go and educate yourself. You know, cats are not for everybody. And I'll say this because this is what I
Totally.
say to people.
Yeah.
Cats are not for everybody because they vibrate at a very high frequencies. The Egyptians used to worship the cats. They
Mm.
were like the almighty high and mighty, right? That was their, relationship with cats. And so cats vibrate at a very high frequency. They are the protector of your spirit world.
Mm.
Dogs are the protector of your materialistic world.
Yeah, that human dimension. Yeah.
Yeah. And so, I mean, I say if you don't like cats, there's obviously something inside of you that's repelling them.
I always think if I'm going on a date with a guy or something and he doesn't like cats, I'm like, this is not going to work. This is
No,
not going to work because it's part and parcel of who I am.
you don't like
If you
cats.
don't like cats, and if that's because you haven't put in the time to learn about them and gain their trust and their love and see that they're not little dogs. And I always think if you're not prepared to do that, then how are you going to be in a relationship? Because you're going to have to put in time and effort to earn my trust. So yeah, it's kind of like it's a very easy way of sifting through
Big
the.
red flag for us,
Yeah,
Ruth. You
exactly.
like
For
cats,
all, and
I
I'm
don't
I'm
like you.
sure there's cat lovers listening to this going, shit, yeah. Although I often hear it, like I, one client last week said to me, she's like, "Oh, I'm a cat person." I said, "So why do you have a dog?" She's like, "Oh, because my partner wanted a dog. He's always wanted a dog, and I thought that I better let him have a dog because I've got a cat." But to be honest with you, if it was just up to me, I would only have a cat because, and I'm like, yeah, I hear.
Yeah.
And yeah, there are some people that are equally cat and dog people. I mean, I
Yeah,
love both,
I'm
but
the
in
same.
terms of like the species that I have that much deeper connection with is definitely the feline, from the little cats to the big cats,
Yeah,
to the jaguars and the lions and the tigers,
yeah.
wolf. I love wolf too,
Yeah,
definitely.
yeah,
But I do see that as well as like, I don't like neediness.
yeah,
And I find that dogs can be quite needy.
yeah, yeah,
And I'm
yeah,
like, "Oh,
totally.
I can't breathe."
More than cats, 100%.
Mm,
But I always say to people, like, there's two questions you can ask someone if they don't like cats, is that, you never ask people why. It's always, what is it about cats that you don't like? Because they're going to tell you what's really going on inside of them when they answer that question. Because you ask someone a question starting with what, it allows them to reflect a bit deeper to give you more
yeah.
of a tangible answer as to really their own perspective and projection around it. You ask somebody why, they get defensive. Well, why don't you like cats? Well, why can't I not like cats? I
Yeah,
just don't
true.
like
Good point.
cats. They get
Yeah.
defensive. But you go, what is it about cats that you don't like? People will be like, generally they're like, well, they're snobby. They only want something when they want something. And it's
Yeah.
like, okay, so you feel really what you're trying to say is that you don't like it how you don't have cuddles or companionship
They're not giving you the attention that you want.
on demand.
Yeah, on demand. So,
Or maybe that's something for you to have some reflection about.
yeah, exactly. It's such a good point. And it's often the same. Yeah, well, they're not, yeah, they're too aloof. They're too in, they just keep to themselves, and whereas dogs are just with you all the time and they just love you so much, and it's like, you probably feel that you need that.
Yeah,
Where is that love within yourself, and
yeah,
being able to tap into that, because that's what cats do. Cats
yeah,
don't need you,
yeah,
but if you're a match, they love having you around and
yeah,
love being with you. It's like they always say that the cat is a solitary creature. Well, in certain aspects, yes, but no, they are also part of a community.
yeah.
Like I
They're
look
a
at
pack
my
animal.
three, they are a community. And
Yeah.
there are times like Elvie and Matilda are both outside in the new cat enclosure at the moment, whereas Max is not with them. I don't know where Max is. Max is inside somewhere.
Mm.
Um, because he's not so with Matilda, because he's 16, almost 17, and she's just a bit chaotic.
Yeah,
But they're both out there. They're out there in that space together,
yeah, yeah,
They are a community. We are a community. We are a unit.
yeah.
And we give each other space and love and respect, and we adore the shit out of each other.
Of
Right?
course, of course. I mean, cats are a pack animal. That's why mama cats have like 4 to 6 kittens, maybe more. It really depends, right?
Yeah, yeah.
they're naturally producing a large number of kittens because
Mm.
that is the natural state of the community
Of the
that
community.
they continue
Exactly.
to carry on. You
Yeah.
know, leopards are a bit different. Cheetahs, they're a pack animal. Like the
Mm.
brothers team up and they go and hunt and live forever
Yeah,
together. And
yeah.
the female goes off, right?
Yeah, exactly.
Leopards are a solitary animal. Like each cat has its own kind of little blueprint, shall we say? But yeah, it's the same for all animals. When they're born in large numbers, they're meant to stay together.
Yeah.
That's why I don't adopt single kittens out as singletons to go into a home where they're by themselves because they grow up with all their siblings and they thrive off companionship, not only from their own
Mm.
species, not just humans. So, and that's just what I've gathered and what I've noticed over my whole experience and my own education and training that I've done since being involved, right? So again, it comes back to education and awareness that if people don't know, they don't know.
Yeah. And
So
it's like often use these two as an example, but it's like I can't play with Elvie the way Matilda plays with Elvie. I can't play with Matilda the way that Elvie plays with Elvie. They are giving each other something that I cannot give them.
yeah,
So if they, I mean, Elvie was fine all of his 12 years without Matilda so far, like he's fine. But she brings another nuance to his life now,
yeah,
right? That I can't get on the floor and wrestle with him.
yeah.
He's not going to wrestle with me the way he wrestles. He's not going to come and bite me on my neck, you know, because I'll be like, oh my God. Whereas
Calm down.
Elvie and Matilda, they understand each other because they're the same species. And so they're wrestling and they're doing the jick, jick, little bites and things like that. If I try and do that to Matilda, like I've tried it once, just an experiment, like not obviously not putting my teeth into it, but I'll be, she's like, what are you doing? She's like, that is
No,
not
mom.
appropriate.
No, mom, this is not for you. Unfortunately, you can't play with us. Off you go.
Yeah, go and be a human. So it's that, it's like if you've only ever had, I mean, there can be such a, and sometimes cats are supposed to be solitary with their human.
They are.
And there's,
Yeah,
like you say, there's no right or wrong, but it's also when you look at the species, and the characters of the species, yeah, if they weren't meant to be, if they weren't a pack animal, they wouldn't have all these babies.
yeah,
They'd have
100%.
like one,
Exactly.
you know.
Yeah,
Um, How can we shift? There's a lot of vitriol and negativity towards cats. I call them cat haters.
mm,
I spoke about the communities where you can't live with cats, where they see that they think they're going to destroy all the wildlife.
yeah,
They're going to just destroy the world, destroy the planet, blah, 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 blah. And they all need to be killed.
mm,
Um, Facebook is a terrible place for this. Community Facebook groups, you see it all the time. These
yeah,
horrible comments about, I found this cat wandering, da 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 da, or I found this, and people will just say, oh, just kill it, just trap it and kill it. And I'm just like, who are you people?
yeah,
What what do you think fuels that? As well as obviously they're not like we've already spoken about, they're not understanding of the cat of a species,
yeah.
ignorance, basically. They're not educated. Is there anything that we can do or to shift that mentality?
The mind.
Wipe
Oh,
them out and start again?
yeah. Look, I suppose, that's a hard question. It's, you know, don't know. It depends how you want me to come at this. I suppose
Honesty, complete honesty.
all I'm going to say to people that really don't have any compassion or empathy for cats is that, it's sad.
Yeah,
It's
they're
sad.
missing out big
I'm
time.
sad. Yeah, I'm sad that you're disconnected and you don't feel and see what we see because
Yeah,
you gave yourself the opportunity regardless. I also think I don't want to use the word brainwashing, but it is a mentality. Like
yeah,
you gave a child a little cat, a kitten, or a very friendly cat, they would grow up knowing that cats are a beautiful animal.
yeah,
And so the only reason why they don't feel or think that is because of what they've been told.
yeah,
All it is. And so that's sad because they are missing out. And,
mm,
for people that are a little bit left wing and really have this strong opinion about cats not being welcome down here on earth, fair enough. That is your opinion. But I don't know, maybe one day if you see a cat randomly and you're curious, be curious because cats are the animal to convert. They are incredible converters. They convert
Mm.
people like no tomorrow,
Yeah.
but only the people that it's
Are
time for
open.
them to be converted.
Yeah.
They're not going to do it for everybody because
No.
they're not ready and that's not their journey. So, everyone's on their own journey, Ruth. It's
Yeah.
sad. It's really sad. And crazily enough, I was never a cat person. So,
Mm. You can speak from true living example.
yeah,
Whereas I was born with cats.
yeah,
Actually, I wasn't, but I had cats from a very young age, like 2 or 3 years old.
yeah.
We were living in Papua New Guinea at the time, and I had this memory of this little kitten biting our toes under the table, and that was our kitten. But for some reason, she didn't leave Papua New Guinea with us.
Mm,
I, sh- I, I'm sure would have been a distraught child at the time. I've never asked my mother what happened to our cat. I think she just, or maybe I have. I think she stayed with like we had It sounds awful, but in Papua New Guinea, I don't know if they still have them, but we had like houseboys.
yeah,
So they would basically be like our house assistants.
yep,
And so I think maybe like the cat and the kids would spend a lot of time with them. Like I remember we'd go down to the shops and we'd buy peanuts and just do
yep,
things like,
yep,
but I think maybe the cat stayed with the houseboy. I'm not sure. But
yeah,
yeah, I've always been a cat person. But they are converters. Like I've had clients, there was one recently that said to me, these are my first cats. I've always had dogs. I'm like, and how are you finding it? And she's like, I absolutely love it. It's absolutely amazing. I can't believe I went this long without having a cat. I'm like, mm-hmm.
right. And that's what we say to all the cat people. Like, not everyone, the cat's not for everyone. That's okay.
No, exactly. They're not meant to be for everyone.
No. So, still hate
They
on cats.
don't need to be for everyone.
No, no, no. So still hate on cats if you want to hate on cats. But for people that are on the fence and only have that opinion because of what they've been told from somebody else, well, one day that might be open for that changing one day.
Yeah. And let's go back to the basic principle, the basic moral value that, at least I was told this when I was growing up. I don't know if other people were taught this, but, and it's not necessarily it's not something that is demonstrated in this world a lot at all, but, and you'll know it when I say it, if you've got nothing nice to say, don't say anything at all.
Yeah. Yeah. What's
Because
the
especially on
point?
Facebook, you are going to offend someone. Guarantee that that comment is going to offend someone. And a lot of people, they want to do that. They want to
They,
piss people off. They want to trigger people. And that's just like, that's not nice. That's not
yeah.
nice people.
People need to remember that when comments are coming at you or people are highly opinionated, that, it's a projection of their own stuff.
Yeah,
Good,
exactly. But
good
that
and bad.
requires deep self-awareness,
Sure.
which is lacking,
Yeah.
unfortunately.
Yeah.
Um, how do you see the rescue space evolving over the next 5 to 10 years? Actually,
Mm.
before I do that, I want you to share a bit about why your rescue organization is different and the heart that you put into it. And then we'll come to that with that in mind.
Yeah.
How do you see the rescue space evolving?
Yeah, I mean, I think a lot of my carers will probably say the same thing. It's a very intimate rescue group that I have.
Mm.
We also spend an enormous amount of time with our fosters because my approach is that the fosters stay until it's time. A lot of other rescues have, and it's different because I do small numbers because I
Yeah,
have the space for them to be here for as long as they need to be here for.
yeah,
I don't have the pressure of moving them on.
yeah, yeah,
Rescue groups don't have that luxury.
yeah,
So it's very intimate. We are doing lower numbers so that by the time the fosters are ready to move on, they are in the best shape and form that they can be to move on. And there's no implications whatsoever coming back, with their health, for example. Generally, that's the main reason.
yeah, yeah,
Um, I also spend a lot of time myself as a carer, as well as with my carers, working on the energetic stuff around each
mhm,
foster.
yeah,
So what does it need? Where does it thrive the most? And people don't have time for this. And I get that, but I like to work at the highest level that I have the capacity to with animals. So it takes time. And I also feel that it has more of a long-term positive effect when
mm,
you're doing this kind of work of working with their energy. For example, when kittens are bonded. and
Yes.
people want to separate them.
Yeah.
I get a lot of inquiries, a lot, Ruth, of when I put up pairs or trios. I'm like one of the only rescues that adopt out in trios, and I get so much controversial criticism for it, but
Mm.
I don't care. I
Yeah.
don't I
Yeah.
don't care for other people's opinions. I know what I'm doing. I know how to do it. So,
You know, why you're doing it and it's right for you and you believe
yeah,
it's right for these cats. Yeah. That's all
exactly.
that matters.
So I'll get a lot of inquiries being like, oh, can we please only have one of the two or one of the three?
Mm.
Like, please, please, trying to convince me and make me feel guilty
Yeah.
because of their own projection of what they want, selfishly for what they want.
Yeah.
Because
Yeah.
if they read the profile and they read how the dynamic of this trio or duo work, they would never ask me to separate them
Yeah.
because
No.
why are we doing this work? We're doing this work for the greater good of the animals.
Yeah. And the individual animal.
Correct.
Yeah.
So separating a mum and son, is that what's best for the animal? No, it's not. So like you can't convince me that I'm going to do that.
Yeah. Yeah.
And people will say if things change, I'm like, they're not changing. That's the sole contract. That's the sole contract. They're staying together.
Yeah.
Thank you for applying. If something else shows up on my website that you're curious about, please apply.
Yeah.
So I'm a stickler for that kind of stuff. And I really work one-on-one with my carers. Like
Yeah.
my phone, and if you ask the girls, they will like, I'm available, especially when we're under the pump and we've got health issues that we're working with. Everything gets dropped and I'm there, where I've had feedback where I've had carers come to me from other groups and they're like, oh, thank you for your communication. Thank you for,
Yeah. Yeah. I hear that too.
you know,
Yeah.
that's a part of my value system, so it comes naturally to
Well,
offer.
because it all comes back to the cats, right? If you're able to assist one of your carers with this, that the animal is going to benefit from that. How many
Yeah,
carers do you have now? Because when we first met, it was just you.
it's just me. Currently, at the moment, I have four girls, four women, four
And do
women.
you have, I have a feeling about this. Do you have training or a course or something that you, something?
Yes and no. I'm not doing anything too grand at the moment with sharing about my fostering journey and what
Yeah.
we do behind the scenes, but I have done that previously.
Yeah, I thought you had. I thought I'd seen that before. Yeah.
Yeah. Becoming an empowered foster carer, I
Yes,
think,
that was it. Yeah.
when things I wanted to educate,
Yeah.
but that's on hold. Well, things have kind of expanded and gone left and right, and things get
Yeah.
left.
Ebb and
It'll,
flow with what's happening. Yeah. Yeah.
right,
Yeah.
right.
Yeah.
Um, does that answer your question about what, about how I operate, or yeah, I suppose the way that
Well, and
my
there's also that aspect for you in terms of at least when we worked together a while ago, there was that real kind of focus around, I created herbal remedies and flower
Mm,
essences and gave you advice on nutrition and things. And so, and obviously there's like a ceiling in terms of dollars as to
yeah,
what you can do for each cat. But is that still something that's still, is that something that's still present in the way that you foster in terms of, you know,
more of a holistic kind of approach. Yeah, it
yeah,
is. It is. I mean, all my fosters are on raw diet through your recipe.
yeah,
Um, I'm I do provide, like, yeah, the money I spend on my rescue is huge
mm,
because of the quality of what I provide. Like I
yeah,
also try and have natural cat toys and all this kind of
yes,
stuff and towers and non-synthetic fibers and beds, which is,
yes.
that's hard because I actually have to chuck a lot of my stuff out annually because of viruses and
Yeah,
germs,
exactly, exactly.
blah blah. But every person that has every meet and greet, they all say, wow, the cats are so healthy. I'm like,
Yeah,
yeah, because
because you've been, yeah.
I'm so diligent with that kind of stuff.
And
You know,
it makes such a difference. Like when Matilda came, she'd had 10 weeks of, well, apart from when she was feeding off her mum,
yeah,
obviously. But, as soon as she would have started eating solids, it would have been like crap processed food. And like I said before, all the medications and all the chemicals that she was exposed to. And that's the majority. I mean, kittens move out of rescue very quickly, but they can return,
Mm,
obviously. But then I often, when you go and look at the adult section at the rescues, it just breaks,
of course.
breaks your heart because it's just they're not. But, with the kittens, right, it's like, I think one of the big, massive points of difference with, Big Dollan's Fur Rescue versus others is that you're not just feeding crap food.
Never.
You
Never.
are providing that holistic support. You're looking at energy, you're looking at natural fibers, natural products, and things
Yeah.
like that. And that is going to help them to build a healthy immune system. That's going to help them to become a healthy adult, which is going to be better for their adoptive family. That
Yeah.
you're setting them up for a better life.
A really strong foundation
And
is the
obviously, not every rescue can do that. And it's not about preaching, oh, this is the only way, because it's not. It's like you say, like funding is the biggest issue. But you go out on your own to create the type of rescue that you wanted to create, that you believe in. You set the rules and you do it your way.
Mhm.
And that's a possibility for so many people
It
if they
is.
have the courage to do that. And you
Yeah.
had the courage and continue to have the courage to do
Yeah.
that, to doing things differently in a way that resonates with you, what you truly, deeply, heartily believe.
Yeah. Absolutely, Ruth.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Um, and I know we've had endless conversations about food, and it's like this price has gone up, and da da da, and it's like it always comes back to you doing the best that you can do.
Yeah, it is. That's all people need to remember is, are you doing your best? Because that's all you need to do is your
Yeah,
best.
yeah,
Look, look, I don't really, I'm pretty honest about, what goes on. And I have fed Foster's whiskers, guys. I have when, you know, I have I use natural feline or Ziwi Peak,
yeah,
wet food. Some like it gets mixed. They've got like a whole menu. The cat's got a whole menu.
yeah, yeah, yeah. Like
So
my
I,
cats.
yeah, I have run into trouble where it hasn't been in stock.
Yes, I remember the conversations we've had. Yeah, yeah. Oh,
It's so you've got to be adaptable. You've got to be able to
yes,
pivot and all this kind of stuff. Again, there's no right or wrong. Are you doing your best? Are the cats happy? Are they fed, satisfied? Well, that's all that matters.
yeah, yeah.
But
Are they getting their needs met? And are they happy? And are they happy? But that's one of their needs is to be happy. Yeah.
correct.
Um, do you think there will be, hopefully you will be an inspiration. I'm sure you are already too, particularly with the carers that you're working with.
Mm,
You are showing people that there is a different way to rescue. Do
mm.
you think over as we're seeing this rescue, well, do you think the rescue space has the capacity to evolve? Or do you think it's just like no hope? How do you see yourself playing a role in changing the industry, in the evolution industry, if at all? Do you feel that you have a role to do? I'm throwing the 10,000 questions at you.
That's fine. It's fine. I think that I mean, I feel now more than ever in the stage of my life that I'm currently at,
Mm,
it's more important than ever to encourage and inspire people to find, their way to, create their own impact and do what lights their soul on fire. So if that means starting a rescue or even reaching out to a rescue group to foster, do it. Like you're going to find your rhythm. You're going to find your way
yeah, you'll
to,
learn as you go,
to
and the
give
animals
back.
will guide you.
Yeah, to give back. And does the rescue space have capacity to evolve? Of course it does. Absolutely. And, it's like that old saying with Nelson Mandela, it was one voice that had
Yeah.
this incredible ripple effect on change for the
Mm.
greater good of humanity. And yes, I absolutely plan to. Thank you, my love. This is Marshall. He's my only boy.
Oh, Marshall.
He is the man of the house. He's another tuxedo and he's obsessed with women.
Oh, my
And
hairdresser loves tuxedos. I always tell whenever I went through this phase of I'd see them and I'd be like, Christy, look, you got to adopt this cat. And she's like, no, don't show me, don't show me. I can't say no to tuxedos.
fair enough. I understand. So,
Like me with tabbies.
yeah, we'll see, Ruth. We'll see what I will be able to create over the coming years.
And
I
then
don't.
there's always that aspect of you're leading by doing, you're leading by example. And so
Yeah,
even this episode, there are likely to be people from rescue organizations, foster carers, what have you, that are going to listen to this, and that might plant a little seed,
yeah,
right?
absolutely,
So
absolutely.
I think that's their best way is like how can you help with the evolution of whatever by doing and by being and leading by that example of the way that you're doing it,
Mm,
you know? Because you're
yeah,
doing that every day. And now you've got your carers on board and they're seeing, oh yeah. So that
it's
is,
all,
I think that is the
it's all about purpose.
yeah,
It's purpose.
yeah,
Because humans don't take action unless it's fueled with purpose, generally, especially for the greater good.
yeah.
So when you're moving through life with a purpose, like that's when change really happens.
Mm,
There is a point to all of this for the greater good of,
yeah. It's a great driving force to.
yeah, it's purpose.
Mm. Do you
Yeah.
see yourself, and maybe this is something that has come up or not, I don't know, but do you see yourself like are there like initiatives or collaborations that you could see yourself being involved in to help with the evolution of other rescues or even foster carers, or just generally in terms of what rescue could do, what kinds of collaborations and initiatives could help to move that evolution forward in that individual animal centric, more holistic fashion.
I feel what's really going to, and I'll put this out to people that are listening to this.
Mm,
It all comes back to finding people that are aligned,
yeah.
that are in alignment to how you see things and how you operate. And so for me personally, nothing has really kind of, apart from you, because we've always had very similar values and we're so
Yeah,
in
yeah.
alignment with our perspective and our relationship with animals. I haven't been looking for it as well. So look, again, it's all in divine timing, but go
Something
out.
could jump out for you tomorrow.
Yeah, you don't know. You don't
Mm,
know. you know, find your community, find your people, and don't stop at all the no's, because the more no's, the closer you are to a yes, to finding your people. Because
yeah.
when you find your people and you are consistently having these really deep, enriching conversations, that in itself builds and creates its own momentum to continue creating what your vision is around being a foster carer, creating a rescue, blah, 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 blah. People that have aligned values and finding your community is like the first place you should start, in my opinion.
Mm.
And having support. You
I was
can't,
just going to ask you the question, do you think there is enough support out there for those who work in the rescue industry?
oh, probably not.
Mm. It's like what
I,
you said about, a lot of people who rescue, they're doing it because they feel that they need to be rescued. It's that archetype. But it's
mm,
like, well, how can those people be helped to see that within themselves so that they can grow and then as a result,
yeah.
you know,
Well, I suppose my answer to that question is there needs to be more people educating and talking about this
mm.
kind of stuff with carers that really struggle with attachment and abandonment issues and guilt. Guilt that
But
they
to even
never,
flag it as a thing, right?
yeah,
Like I could totally see you on a stage
yeah,
talking to, it's a rescue industry, feline rescue industry, or it might be, for canines too, where all people from that industry, whether they are owning the rescue, whether they're a carer, foster, whatever, working within the system, and there's an event like a conference or something, and people are up there and they're talking about what they're doing, and so that's inspiring people. It's like what's done in a lot of other industries. You have a conference, you have an event, and you get so inspired and you meet new people, and those people's align with you, and things start to change and shift.
Yeah.
Is there anything like that within the rescue industry? And possibly not because it's volunteer based.
Yeah. Yeah. There's not.
It
There's
really needs for that person to come in who has the time and the energy and wherewithal to be like, I'm going to run this thing and invite all the rescue groups and start, but that's a lot of work.
yeah.
But there's got to be someone out there. Hello, we're calling, we're speaking to you. There has to be, or if it's
Please
not you,
reach
you
out.
may you may know someone, audience, listener,
Yeah.
who has that drive. Send them this episode because I
Mm,
think that's going to be coming together,
mm,
right? As a community, what are
mm,
the issues that you're facing? These are
mm,
my ideas. How can we support each other,
mm.
right?
Love it. Yeah. If I had the time, I would definitely be
Oh,
moving.
I know you would. I know you would. Totally. So there, I've just given an idea of I'd love to see more widely adopted in rescue is that support piece.
Yeah. Yeah. Support. It's huge. It's huge. I
Yeah.
have my own support system, so I've always been pretty, held through the ups and the downs of what I've gone through.
It's
But
also taking that responsibility like you have done to find your own support system.
of
Don't
course,
rely on someone else to do it for you.
no.
It's
Yeah.
nice to have that, amazing if that exists, but you've got self-responsibility here.
Correct. Correct.
Yeah.
Yeah. Support. It's huge. Everyone needs it. We all need it. We all need
Yeah,
it in not only
definitely.
this kind of work, but just generally trying to do life down here on earth. Support.
That's exactly right. And you don't necessarily need that network. You can be your own network.
Yeah.
And speaking of that, how do you sustain yourself emotionally and energetically in such a demanding space that is rescue?
Oh, goodness. Yeah. How do I do it? Well, I do have. Well, the first thing would be my cats, you know,
Yes.
my cats. They do a lot of work on me. And a couple examples are I've been sick, right? And I don't get sick very often, but when I get sick, I get sick. I'm bedridden for a day or two, and they will come. They stop their life to sleep on my bed, be with me, to like
Help you
hold me
heal.
and support me
Yeah.
and take all the crap out of me, right? So my cats, they and everyone knows that who are close to me that they are such an important, integral part of my life. I have an incredible network of family and friends that support me irrespective of certain decisions I make for my
Yeah, that's
rescue.
nice. Yeah. It's rare.
I do redline it quite a lot. And, I do say, this is it. We're having a break after this. Hello,
Maxi.
Maxie boy. Look at your fluffy tail.
He always, often always, if there's going to be one, it's Max.
Bless his soul. God, he's beautiful. Um, people have got my family and my friends have my back regardless,
Yeah.
and they support me. They're the people, that are in the corner fanning my flame and, rooting for me.
Amazing.
I mean, I'm a very independent person. I know my stretch zone. I know where I've got to pull out, and I can't stretch it that high and that hard without my team.
Yeah.
I have incredible people like you. I have a whole professional support team that have been by me for nearly over a decade to reach out to because not everyone gets it. Not everyone is understands really what I'm navigating, and that's okay. I don't expect them to, but when I need that support or I need you know, ears to listen, it's always there because a lot of people feel so unheard and so unsupported and that they don't get it. A lot of foster carers will say that, like people just don't get it. No one's
Yeah.
listening to me. I'm trying to process all of this stuff that's going on and I've got nowhere to let it out and to alchemize it. Yeah.
Yeah.
But I do because I've always been like that, Ruth. I've always had a team around me because I'm an intense person. I go pretty hard. I'm not here to do mediocre things on earth,
Mm.
and it takes a team to walk with someone to create that.
Yeah. Yeah.
And then it's balance. I'm not great with balance, but when I'm in balance and harmony, I get a lot of stuff done and I achieve
Yes.
my goals.
Yeah.
So, and having, and also having being really clear about your why. Why
Yeah.
are you, what is it, not even, I don't like that word why, but what is it that's making you make these decisions and choices and do what you do? What is it? Because it brings purpose. This is my life mission. This is what I was born to do.
Yeah.
And I couldn't
Totally.
imagine not living and breathing this every single day. So get clear about that.
Yeah. 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 Love that. Now, let's do some more like practical stuff. For someone considering fostering, I mean, that's being practical too, but anyway, for someone, some like practical tips for someone considering fostering or adopting a kitten, what, in your opinion, are the most important things they should know?
Okay, well, the first thing is that's a two-part answer. If you already have existing fur babies, the question I really encourage you to check in with the current residential fur babies. Because one of the things that I do is I talk to the animals. So I'm always considering their world and how it would impact them.
Yeah.
Now, you might not be able to get a clear kind of answer or feeling about, oh, they look lonely, so I want to, but really
Mm.
be present to kind of get some sort of tangible feeling around, is this really what's needed?
Yeah.
Does it suit the dynamic of the house to bring in another fur baby at this point in time?
Mm.
Now, if you don't have a current fur baby and you're looking to start your fur family, the questions are, what is it that makes you ready for this decision now?
Mm.
Because generally what people will say is they, they're ready and they're settled, house is all set up, and there feels like there is something missing.
Mm. Yes, this I resonate with completely.
Yeah, right. And that something missing is generally something emotional or very spiritual. It's actually spiritual, but people aren't there yet to kind
Yeah,
of look at
yeah.
that
Not
from that
everyone, yeah.
context, which
Yeah.
is fine, but it's emotional. And so let's just say it's really about you're ready to just open your heart even more and receive and give love on a deeper level, which is a
Yeah.
beautiful thing. That's what animals, they're the master at.
Or foster a new connection.
Correct. Absolutely.
Or
Absolutely.
even if you look at it from a soul contract perspective, you're ready to explore another part of your journey because that
Totally.
animal is going to open things up for you.
Absolutely.
Mm.
Absolutely. And so when you get clear about that, what actually ends up happening, because I always ask my potential forever homes, what was it about that cat that made you apply?
Love
Because
that.
they're very specific. I don't get applications for all 10 that are up for adoption. There's only one they're focused on.
Yeah,
And
yeah,
and they're not even open to any other one. And
yeah.
that's perfect because there's something going on
There's
there.
something there and may not be a tangible thing. They may
No,
not be able to pinpoint it. Like,
no.
with Matilda, there were two possibles. And then when I got there, the other girl, baby, had gone. I'm like, okay, I'm going to meet this. Well, Matilda was Molly before I
Yeah.
brought her home. And then she told me her name was Matilda. I'm like, Matilda, okay, love it. But it was like, and she was just very, hey, Kitten, Elvie's coming. You know Elvie, yes.
Yes.
Um, there was just there was like, I mean, for me, it was like, I missed the feminine.
Yeah. There
Even
you
though
go.
cats are feminine,
Yeah.
Lily, I missed the girl. I
Yeah.
would go to a friend's house and then have a girl cat, and I like, God, I miss this energy.
Hmm.
There was this gaping hole. And it's like now that Matilda is here, it's like, wow, she has brought something else in. And I did some new Reiki training recently, and we actually did a session with Lily. And it ended up being more akin to an animal communication session than a healing.
Yeah.
But the message that came through was like Lily sent Matilda to you.
Of course.
She is a gift from Lily to
Mm.
bring joy and curiosity into your life. And I'm
Isn't it?
just like,
And did that resonate? Does that
oh,
feel
she
more
totally
true?
does.
Yeah.
There is just this essence of like the energy just shifted in our house.
Yeah.
There is more joy. There is more curiosity because she's like doing all that crazy kitten stuff. And she
I
is
love
so
it.
curious and she wants to get into everything, explore everything. And she's just all about, apart from when the boys had their first fight since she was here last night and that freaked her out. She went and hid under the bed. I'm like,
Mm.
it's okay, darling. They just do this every now and again. They're fine. They're just, Elvie's being a boss, pushing Max around, which is not fine, but that's just the dynamic. You're
How
fine.
it works at the moment. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. So it's like, yeah, it was, but when I went to look at her, I surrendered. Like I rang to see if she was still available, and they said yes, but if you want her, you better get here quick, smart, because a lot of people are interested. I'm
Right.
like, yeah, yeah, no worries. And I had a friend visiting, and she was like, we were going to go for a walk. And I'm like, and she was like, do you just want to go straight to the shelter? And I'm like, no, this has just come about kind of out of nowhere. So I'm going to surrender. I don't want to be too controlling over it. If she's
Yeah.
still there when I get there and it all works out, then she's meant to be with me because I can't trust my own,
Yeah.
thing.
Yeah.
Because I'll
Yeah.
take anyone, just give them all to me.
Yes.
So,
Yes.
I went there and she was there and all of the other cats in her litter were all boys. And I'm like, well, that's a perfect dynamic for this house because the other cats are boys. And she was very kind of like we didn't really have a connection at the shelter because she was just too busy. She was busy and she's like that now. If I'm busy, no, let me down. I am busy. I will cuddle you later. I'm busy. I'm like, okay, here you go. She's like, um, and so she was like that. And then when I was driving, I was like, can you just hold her for an hour? I want her. You just hold her now. I've just got to get some stuff because I hadn't got anything. Like, obviously, I had food because I got other cats, right? But I was like, I want a little playpen for her for part of the introductions. I want to just want to get some things.
Yeah.
And so I was driving to get the stuff and I'm like, what are you doing? What am I doing? I'm about to get this new cat and bring this new cat home. And I'm like, started to feel really overwhelmed.
Yeah.
But then I also felt like I was like on autopilot. And I'm just like, okay, shit, oh my God. And then she's in my car and I'm looking at her, I'm like, oh, it's all right, darling. Da-da-da.
Mm.
And then I'm like, oh my God, what have I done? And then I get home and go in the front door and the boys are like,
Yeah, of
I was
course.
like, oh my God, I've just created this whole extra thing in my life to worry about. But I also came back to trust
Yep.
because if she wasn't meant to be here with us, she wouldn't have been there because there were people lining up to see her. But
Yeah.
at this rescue, they only let one person in the cage at a time.
Yeah. Okay.
And so there were people waiting. I was like, and I'm like, shit, okay, no, I'm taking her. Thank you.
She's
But yeah, it
mine.
was about that feminine essence.
Mm.
It was lopsided. There were
Yeah.
two boys and me.
Yep.
It's
Yep.
just getting that harmony and that balance.
Rebalancing the dynamic.
And
Yeah.
bringing like what came through the training, bringing this joy and this curiosity into our lives, this new energy. It's a
Yeah.
playmate for Elvie, and he loves
Yeah.
to play. I
Yeah.
still call him Kitten.
Yeah.
He still very much has that kitten vibe, but it brings curiosity for the boys
Yeah.
because they're like so intrigued by her crazy antics. And I'm sure they're just looking at it sometimes going, Jesus, calm your farm. Like,
Too
what are you doing? You can't get that bird. Like, that's just ridiculous.
much. Yeah. Yeah. What
Just,
a beautiful thing to bring into your place, though. Just,
yeah.
it's lifted everything.
Like it certainly wasn't smooth sailing, right?
Yeah, no, I'm sure it
But that
wasn't.
doesn't mean it's a no
Yeah, no,
because
no.
there's lessons in it all,
Yeah.
right?
It's a process, 100%. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Yeah, it's not always smooth sailing. I agree.
Mm, yeah. So,
Yeah.
are there any important things or any other like tips or things that can often be overlooked?
Um, Look, honestly, not I don't experience that because, I'm so intentional with, what I'm
Your
putting
who
there.
you adopt the
Yeah,
adoptive
yeah.
families, yeah.
Yeah, and like I get that feeling and it is just the way that I am and how I work and I know a lot of other people don't and that's totally okay, but again, I think it's why I don't worry about it, like
Mm.
a lot of rescues will put up please adopt Bobby and Jane, for example. They've been in rescue for 200 days. It's not fair.
Yeah.
All of this kind of saddening
It's
bullshit
so,
is
and it's bringing all this sad energy into these animals.
so
Yeah.
disempowering. And I'm
Yeah.
like, I just don't buy into that. That's not the narrative I want to put out there.
You
And
don't want like a pity adoption because that's probably more likely to fail
yeah, well, it
than,
attracts wrong energy.
yeah.
That's what it does.
Yeah.
It not only that it might fail, but like you will attract people that have this desperate, needy energy as well.
Yeah.
And
Yeah. Yeah.
that's not my vibe. So, and every adoption that I've had has been just really organic. I
Mm.
don't know how many adoptions I've done, to be honest. It's like 150, 200 or something like this. So
Yeah.
I don't know. I can't remember everybody, but I know every person that has adopted from me has been, mwah,
Yeah.
couldn't fault them. The perfect forever home.
Yeah. Yeah. Which is amazing, which speaks to the level of attention and care that you put into your processes to ensure that
Mm, of
they're going to the right homes.
course, of course.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Um, why does this work matter? Why does cat rescue matter?
Well, because we have a completely out of control stray cat population in Australia,
Mm.
that has its own issues of killing the wildlife. Yeah, absolutely. I agree. It's, when things are out of balance, that is going to be the cause of effect.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
That's probably one of the biggest issues. The other reason why this work is so important is because animals always deserve second, third, fourth chances to live their best life
Mm.
and to be given an opportunity to go into a home that are going to provide that for them. So let's continue to allow that co-creation to happen. The other reason why this work is so important is because cats are awesome,
Yeah,
obviously.
hello, no brainer.
Animals are awesome.
Yeah,
But
yeah, yeah.
cats, a lot of my forever homes have said, they all say it, Ruth. I can't believe, why have I gone so long without
Yes.
having, it's hilarious.
Yeah.
I always wait for the text message, to be
Yeah, yeah,
honest.
yeah. Yeah.
It's hilarious. I'm like, yeah, 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 I know.
I
But
know.
if it's happened now, it's all good.
Mm.
So don't deny yourself that opportunity, guys. Open your heart and let cats change your life. The other reason why this work is important is because no animal deserves to suffer the way that we receive
Yeah.
rescues. It's not, yes, they do, but they don't have to. So this work is so important to continue to reduce the numbers
Ease
on
the suffering.
abused, neglected, and abandoned animals.
Yeah, yeah, totally.
Um, yeah, and also this work is important to teach the younger generations around what people like myself and other rescues do to create impact for animals because, yeah, kids don't know, children don't know, and to inspire them and to inspire people that, it is hard. This work is not for the faint-hearted, but it is extremely fulfilling and rewarding.
Mm.
So again, give yourselves the opportunity to be curious and dive into something like this if you have been. This is your sign. If people are listening to this being like, I've always wanted to do it, do it.
I
Just do
think
it.
one thing that might be a bit of a block is like if people want to foster, but they're like, how the hell do I do that? What do I need at home? Like, things like
Yeah.
that. Are there places, obviously with your carers, they could contact you if they're in your local. I mean, do you only operate out of, I know you're
No.
in
Out
Victoria.
of Victoria.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah. Could you see yourself expanding into other states?
Of course.
Exciting. So I guess if people are interested in doing rescue differently and working in more of that holistic, energetic way of cat rescue, that they could reach out to you and say, "Hey, Bethany,"
Of course.
um, or that you might be able to point them in the direction of,
Yeah.
someone else in their state until you're there, or they may be the person that starts that state. Like
Correct.
exciting, right? And so
Absolutely.
I think people, it's like, if you're curious, reach out to someone
Yeah.
like Bethany to
Yeah.
learn what are the things that you need to establish so
Yeah.
that you can do it. Like what are the things that might be holding you back? What are the things that are driving you? And just seek out that support from people who are already doing it. And maybe then you can have that alignment with that organization and
Totally.
start your first foster.
Little.
And you might just start with one. Just one.
Exactly.
to see how you
Exactly.
go, right?
Exactly. Yeah, yeah. Reach out. There are so many. I mean, there are so many rescues in Australia. Like there
Yeah.
are thousands.
But I imagine not many, not all are necessarily, because of the nature of the industry, not all are necessarily going to be to align with the people who want to do it
Mm,
or have the time or the
correct.
energy to teach or to guide,
Yeah.
which
I
is understandable.
Yeah, I think if you are wanting to foster for the first time, or you are a foster carer and you're wanting to maybe move on from whoever you're volunteering for, get clear about what you need.
Mm.
Support, tools, I don't know, whatever that is, you get clear about that because a lot of my foster carers say to me when they've come from other rescue groups, they don't know the answer to that question, but once we're connected and we're chatting, they say, this is what I've needed. I've needed someone to hold my hand, right? I get it. Hold my hand and provide, endless education and tools around
Mm.
making this process for me as smooth as it can be while feeling emotionally and physically supported.
Yes. Yeah. Yeah. Love
So,
that.
and I actually believe that is actually one of the main things that foster carers need is
Yeah.
what I just said. So, and then go and connect with rescue groups, ask the questions. Don't, some are going to hit you with some pretty like, well, no, this is how we work, fill the form out, sign the waiver.
Yeah, yeah, you've got to do it. I found that a lot. I've spoken to other fosterers and they're like, they'll only allow us to do it this way. They require this and
Yeah,
that, and they won't consider anything else, and they just feel so restricted and so
yeah,
just misaligned
yeah, I've
with the
heard this.
organization's values.
Yeah, I've heard this as well. Move on, guys. Move on. There are so many
Yeah,
amazing.
like I remember there was one who came to me and they had a cat in foster and they wanted to feed this cat better and they wanted to give natural medicines. And the rescue organization was happy to pay for some of it.
Okay.
I'm like, well, that's a positive,
Yeah, yeah,
right? Because
yeah,
normally it would just be whatever they can get from the vets, from those vets who donate and things like that.
yeah. Okay.
And then they're not worried about that. What is the long-term impact of using this on the cat?
Mm,
It's that longevity aspect, like I've said before about you're bringing up cats in a way that's going to support them for the rest of their life because you're giving them the best chance at a healthy beginning.
yeah,
Yeah.
100%.
If people can't rescue or foster, what are other ways that they can support this work?
Well, they can donate to their inspired charities.
Yes,
They could,
funding. Do
I
you have a
mean,
donation system?
I do, absolutely, on the website. They can
Under
do,
support, donate. And you've got an Amazon wish list.
yes.
So people can fill in, you've got the amount starting from just $5.
Yeah,
Lots of angel numbers see in there, all the way up to 1111.
yeah,
Beautiful. And then you've also got your Amazon wish list. This is
yeah,
cool. So food,
yep,
hello,
yep,
food and litter. You
yes.
use the brand that I recommend, of course.
Right.
Little toys, cat tubes, cat tunnels, puzzles.
Yeah,
Yeah, I love it.
yeah.
Pet grow banana cat bed cave. Oh my God.
They go off on that. The
There are
kitten,
some cute things in here,
there is.
all at all different price points. So everyone, if you're feeling like, oh my God, I can't foster, I can't adopt, but you want to do something to support Bethany's amazing work, doing things differently, and she really has the cats as you really have the cats as they're your heart. You
Yeah.
have
Oh,
their interests deeply embedded in your heart, and you do not do it for money because there's no money in it. This is not how you make your money. She really, yeah, she is a cat lover, true and true, and is just, yeah, amazing. It's one of the reasons why you're here on this show because I totally love the way that you approach cat rescue. And if I could do it, I would be like, Bethany, I can start in Queensland.
Yeah. I
But
love
I have a
that.
little house and I already have 3 cats, and that's just
I
it.
know. I know. I know your boundaries.
Yeah, so, but it doesn't mean that that's going to be the situation forever, right? Like
No, things change.
things change. So check out the website, which I did have it there, but now it's gone over somewhere else. Okay. Um, I'll put the in the show notes, bigdollansfurrescue.org.
Mhm.
You can learn more about Bethany's story and you can see the kittens up for adoption.
Ah,
Egypt.
yes, Egypt.
Banjo's pretty handsome.
He's stunning.
Um,
They're the trio that are here with
at
me
the
at the
here,
moment.
you've
Yeah,
had Banjo for a little while, yeah?
they came at the end of June, start of July.
Yeah, yeah. How long do you normally keep your cats for before you put them up for adoption?
Minimum 4 to 6 weeks. Minimum.
Yeah.
Kittens are a lot longer because they have to go through the whole
Yeah,
vet.
what's the minimum age of a kitten that you will adopt out?
We are looking at about 12. They're no younger than 12, 13 weeks.
Yeah, yeah.
So let's just say from 3.5 months onwards is when
Yeah.
kittens are available for adoption.
Yeah. I thought
And
Matilda was so young to be adopted out, but
yeah,
in a way I was like, well, good, I can start fixing things.
that's it. That's it.
Hmm.
And adult cats or mature cats, it's really they're not up for adoption for a minimum of 4 to 6 weeks because they also have to have vet work. And I also need time for them to settle and get to know their personalities before I can,
Oh,
write
before
about
you can match them, yeah. It's like
them.
matchmaker service.
It is. I love that.
Bethany's feline matchmaking.
I love that. Oh my God, that's such a good idea.
Totally. You could totally play with that. Like social media would love that.
Yes,
Right?
yes.
Who's your match? And
Who's
you
your
could even
match?
do like the perfect match, like a studio setup. You could mock it up. So anyway, conversation for another day.
Of course.
Um, Two more questions before we wrap. Do you
Sure.
have a story of hope? We haven't spoken about stories yet. A story of hope, rescue, or transformation that you'd love to leave listeners with?
Hmm. Okay, I'll tell you one story. There's a few stories, but I'll tell you one story. I ended
Yeah.
up taking in a Russian blue
Oh,
uh,
love Russian blue.
at the start of this year, and it was semi-confirmed that she was pregnant, but I had to. It was a very fast kind of transaction. She came from a shelter, a great shelter that I work with,
Hmm.
and 2 weeks later, it was confirmed that she was pregnant, and I did want to terminate the pregnancy because this Russian blue was a breeding machine, and
Mm.
I actually had never done mums and bubs, so never had brought in a pregnant mama for her to birth in my
Yeah,
house.
yeah,
So I
yeah,
was a bit nervous because a lot can go wrong, but she was an experienced mama
yeah,
that I didn't have issues about the delivery. But there was this feeling of like
yeah. They know what to do.
something is going to go wrong.
Yeah,
And this is why I wanted to terminate the pregnancy because I actually thought I would lose the mother. This is kind of
yeah,
visions that I was getting
yeah.
before she gave birth. And I had someone tell me that for me to consider terminating the pregnancy was a really, really cruel thing to do, and that I don't have a heart, and that, the
Well, not
baby,
if it means you're saving the mum. Like, how old was the mum?
she was 3.
Yeah, she's still a baby herself, you know?
Yeah. And, the ultrasound showed the babies with spines and stuff. And
Yeah,
I was only going to de-sex her and terminate the pregnancy if I got the all clear from my vets because there is a cutoff point
yeah,
where
yeah.
it's
Yeah.
dangerous. And they had said it's too late. I said, right, so we're moving forward with this.
Okay.
So she ended up having her babies
With
and
you?
yeah, she had them here.
So it was a new learning for you, yeah?
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
She had 5 babies. She had one gray kitten and 4 black kittens.
Mm,
And she had been used and abused so much that she did nearly die because she was
mm.
unable to push her placenta out, which I
Yeah,
didn't know. So
yeah.
then we had to go through this whole process of assisting her with that, which was very traumatic for me and for
Did
her.
you have a vet on board for that?
Yeah.
Did you have to take her to the vet or was someone able to come to the home?
No, we were taking her back to the vets
Yeah.
because we needed the machines to check in on
Yeah, okay.
progress and all this kind of stuff. And
Yeah.
if she had to go under, what had to be done then and there. It's only 3 minutes away, one of my main clinics.
Yeah, yeah.
And then slowly but surely, all her babies started to die.
Mm,
And they were dying because Portia was overbred and was unable to produce strong, healthy kittens,
yeah.
had horrendous birth defects,
Oh God.
enlarged skulls.
Oh my
Um,
God.
Honestly, Ruth, like my rescue actually has not been through death in the 4.5 years it's been operating. And so I've been through
I
a lot
think
of
you've had times where you've come close to it, but you've been able to
bad.
get through it. Yeah, yeah. Because I
Yeah.
remember. Yeah.
Yeah. Been close many times, but this
Mm.
year we've been through a lot. The grief that has come through the rescue has been
Mm.
horrendous, but it's all been learning. And yeah, they all died in my hands I had to bottle feed them. She got a bit of mastitis, so that comes with its own
Yeah.
issues.
Yeah.
Um, and there was one little boy that survived. They were all girls that passed away.
I remember this little boy,
Mana, who survived. And Mana
and he's
means,
been adopted
yeah, with
because he's
her.
not on your website.
He got adopted with his mama. And
Oh,
his name, Mana, is means strength and Māori because I'm half Māori, half Aussie.
yeah.
And he was the apps. I was going to keep him, to be honest. I wanted to keep him, but he was bonded with his mama and his other adopted sister. And my queen, Bon Bon, hates other female cats. So it was very clear
Yeah,
that that
yeah.
was never going to
One
happen.
matriarch.
Yeah, there's only one matriarch in my house. And
Mm.
so I think the lesson with all of that is, this woman that told me that what I was, what, wanting to terminate them was a cruel thing. I kind of wish I kind of had a message to her and said, well, they never survived anyway. They actually, four of them
Yeah,
died. They were never going to survive because I knew in my heart there was going to be something
it
that goes
wasn't going to be.
wrong.
Yeah,
And Portia survived, obviously. She recovered really well.
mm.
And she had one little boy that survived. And yeah, it was very bittersweet, but he was the light, and everyone that met him was obsessed because his energy was just, you could feel it. Playful,
Mm.
strong, curious, handsome. He was everything. And I had like 40 inquiries for him.
Wow.
Like, look at the profile. He comes with his mama because of what's happened.
Yeah, yeah.
Because of what has happened. Yeah, it was horrific.
Let her keep one of her babies.
Of course, they were so beautiful. So yeah, there's been many heroic stories, and yeah, there has been some sad stuff that I've gone through, but it just comes with the nature of this kind of work.
Yeah,
I am able to, I've seen stuff, and I've been through some stuff that is not explainable. It's not logic, but I know is bringing it all together down the line at some point
yeah,
for me to
yeah.
go, this is why I went through this. This is why
Yeah,
this.
exactly. This was a lesson that you needed to learn because
Yeah,
this is going to happen soon.
yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
yeah. And, the struggle that you would have experienced going through it and the fear and the anxiety, but then you came through it.
Mm,
And now you've got that as evidence that you can do this.
of course.
And I think that gives just such, great comfort. And it's like, well, if I can do that, then I can do this. And I just have to trust. And I've got my support team there. Very handy to have one of your vets only 3 minutes away for things like this, right?
Definitely.
Um, yeah, it's just there are going to be challenges. This
Mm.
is this is life, but it's like,
Yeah, he was a special cat. I still think about him. I'm actually going to see him because he was adopted locally, thank goodness.
mm,
So he's still very local, and I haven't had time to go around and see that family unit. But I mean, their foster family, their forever home are just like obsessed. They're obsessed with him and his mama and the
mama.
sister as well. It's yeah, a very beautiful, beautiful, happy ending.
Yeah, that's so amazing. And that's
Yeah.
the thing. If rescue did not exist, this mum probably would have, and all the babies would have died. I'm sure of it.
Without a doubt. And I did have a moment with my
And it
sister.
wouldn't have been an easy death.
No, well, I said that to my sister, I was like, because we're cleaning up the mess, right? We're
Yeah.
cleaning up the mess from people's crappy decisions.
Yes.
And I'm human. I'm like, this is bullshit. This is unfair. And I'm human. I do feel that.
Mm.
But at the end of the day, she wasn't meant to come in.
But
She
when
wasn't.
people take on a cat, or any animal, it's a big responsibility.
Yeah, it
And if
is.
you're not prepared to be responsible, then you
Own a pet.
should you really have that animal in your life? Because
Exactly.
buck stops here, baby.
But I said to my sister, at the end of the day, the owner surrendered her to the shelter. And as
She's like,
ups
well, thank God for that. They didn't just dump her. A
well,
lot of people dump.
at the end of the day, she ended up in my hands, in my care.
Yeah.
That was the best thing for her.
Yeah, it
But
was.
although I'm upset and I'm triggered and
Yeah.
I'm, reacting about, she made it. She made it. She made it here.
I think it's a really valuable reflection because that human who surrendered her probably wouldn't have been equipped
No,
to do what you did.
not at all. And the baby, Portia would have died.
Yeah.
Wouldn't have taken her to the vets when she had placenta left in her.
Yeah.
She would have
Wouldn't have
died.
known and she would have just died. Yeah. So this is everything happens for a reason, right?
Of course. Of
Yeah.
course. Yeah.
And our final question,
Oh,
if
here
there
we
is
go.
one thing you could change about the human animal relationship, what would it be?
One thing that I could change. If there's one thing that I could change about the human, do you mean like what I would like for me or what I would
If
like
you
for?
were the ruler of this world and you could wave your wand to
Mhm.
change one thing in terms of the connectivity, the relationship between animals and humans, it can be domestic, it can be wild, it can be farm, it can be any,
Mm.
what would that be? Or if you had a genie in a bottle and you had one wish,
I think I would really love to see people embrace and be curious about the magic that animals hold and have inside of them because
mm,
it will change your brain chemistry. It will change your life. It will hit spots in you that humans can't hit because
yes,
animals are, animals are here to empower and encourage us to heal parts of ourselves that we don't know that need healing.
love it.
Mm.
Be open, be curious. Yeah,
To the healing powers that animals have to support us on our journey.
yeah,
Having more love, comfort, being seen, being heard, holding our vulnerability. Animals are the expert at that. We can dance naked around the house or in the shower and sing at the top of our lungs, and our animals are there and they don't judge us.
well, they're just like, interesting behavior of this human.
But it's weird how we feel so comfortable in front of them and
Yeah,
know that they're not judging. And so that's something to be mindful of because you obviously feel seen, heard, and safe in the presence
in that
of an
environment. Yeah.
animal to be authentically yourself and to also express that without judgment coming back. Because
Mm,
animals don't judge, they don't have an ego like humans do, where
mm,
there's an opinion. And it's like this old saying I'd say to people, it's like you lock your wife and your dog in the back of the boot for a couple of days. You open the boot, who's happy to see you?
the dog.
Always. Or they're wagging their tail. Oh my God, you're back. Yay, yay, yay. Can we go play now? The missus ain't happy.
Mm, mm,
But can you see
mm.
how you do that to animals? Like the animals have no judgment. There's no
Yeah.
manipulation. There's no reactiveness
Might be
or
different if you locked your wife and your cat in the boot. I don't think the cat
probably,
would respond in the same way as a dog.
probably
The
not.
cat would probably jump out and run for the hills.
Yeah, but you ain't gonna have an argument about it, and they're not gonna hold you against they're not gonna hold that against you,
Yeah. Yeah,
right?
yeah.
Yeah, they're amazing. Animals are amazing. They'll change your life.
On that note, there's a bird visiting.
Oh,
Is it coming in the
bless.
house, Maxie? Oh my God, King George is in the house.
No way. Like actually in the house?
Seriously, sitting on the couch.
Where's Matilda?
King George, what are you doing in here?
Wow,
Where's
that's
King
amazing,
George?
Ruth.
I have to go and rescue this bird now.
You do, you do.
Max is like, oh, hello, King George, you can't. I've got to go.
Go,
Okay.
go, go, go.
Thank you, everyone, for listening. I now have to go and save King George the parrot, who has
I
become
love
our
that.
new family member.
I love that. Thank you, Ruth. This has
There
been
are
beautiful.
lessons in this. I'm always thinking, what is King George here to share? Oh my gosh.
Keep us updated.
Oh my gosh. It's hilarious, guys. Matilda's at the door. Max is walking along the couch, and King George is just like, oh,
This is
okay. This is hilarious. Okay. Thank you so much, Bethany, for
Thank you,
sharing your
Ruth.
time and your wisdom and your love with us all.
Pleasure. I love it.
Speak soon.
Absolutely. Take care. Bye.
Bye. What did you think? Has this episode planted a little inspiring seed in you to maybe get involved in rescue or to, take the next step or to learn more? Or has it just warmed your heart? Are you curious about the work of Big Dollan's Fur Rescue? You can check out Bethany and all the beautiful cats that she's got up for adoption and find out ways that you can support her work and support these beautiful cats that she looks after and rears and sends off to their forever home at bigdollansfurrescue.org. I will pop the link in the show notes. And they are also on Instagram at BD Fur Rescue. You can follow along on the journeys there of all the beautiful cats that she helps and then sends off with love and just giving them that excellent start to their life, whether they're kittens or adults. If there is someone in your life that you feel might be inspired by this show or might have their heart warmed by this show, please share it with them. And as always, I would love your support of the show. By rating, reviewing, following, subscribing, commenting, sharing. Your support is so valued. And until next time, I send you and your beautiful, beautiful animals in your life lots and lots of love.